What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Hey, I'm UFC President Dana White, and you're in the ring with Callum McGregor.
They're staring at me. See it?
There is the man.
What up? What up? What up?
I just want to thank you for giving us your time. It speaks to what kind of champion you are, what kind of fighter you are, what kind of man you are. Literally on, Ariel Helwani 2 days ago or a day ago, and now you're jumping on here with me on Donttap.
Today. It was just like a couple minutes ago. I just got off with him, like a couple minutes.
Oh man, I thought that you guys shot that yesterday. My bad, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that was crazy.
All right, so I'm on the tail end of Ariel Helwani.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, so. Raufeon, first off, I want to say congratulations. I was a believer going into that fight. We backed you pretty big on the podcast. I did not see that head kick coming, but I don't think he did either.
Yeah.
Man, congratulations. It couldn't happen to a better fighter, a better charismatic, representative of the sport and dad. So congratulations. How did it feel to finally put that belt around your waist?
Man, when it first happened, it was just like surreal. You know what I mean? Because like it's something you work for and you work hard for. You sacrifice a lot for it to happen. You know, it's just like kind of surreal. You know, like so when it happened, it was just like I just couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? Even though I worked and I spoke it into taking place, but yeah, it was just like damn, I'm really here. Like this it really happened. So it was cool, man.
And conveniently, if you can hear, the dog is barking. And on any cat podcast, that usually tells you that, you want to bet on the dog. And you were the dog 2 years ago, man.
Yeah.
You were literally coming into the Magomed fight. You were on some books plus 350.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous, man. Just underappreciated, undervalued. And I jumped all over that because as I break down tape, initially I was a fan of yours, but I broke down tape when you were about to fight Josh Hill. Mm-hmm. And breaking down tape for that and breaking down tape, I was like, man, like this guy's got a well-rounded set. And then matching up against Magomed, I was like, what are they seeing that I don't? I don't, you're better on the feet than him. And I know that in the scrambles you were better than him. All he has is some better control time, which you're not going to allow it. So we were just chomping at the bit for that plus money. How did it feel to be underdog, undervalued, underrated? And now you are the man that everybody's looking to. How does it feel for that transition now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just because of Magomed. And Magomed is like a super tough opponent. So like people just maybe just didn't think I was as tough or had tough competition to show. So it was like super cool. I think that was the first fight I've ever been to like the underdog. I think, but I don't know like the MMA now. But I know once I found out I was an underdog, I was like, hey man, we gotta make some money.
Man.
Bet like my homie Jordan Griffin. I was like, hey bro, you gotta bet. Bet for me. You know what I mean? So now coming until where people are starting to kind of get behind me. And I think it's too because of around the time I fought Magomed, Khabib, was on top. He was still an active UFC fighter. I feel like, and the Dagestanis, they're really tough. You know what I mean? They're savages on the mat, and they're savages getting people. And they're relentless kind of in their style, and they're mentally strong. Just being raised in the mountains and stuff. It does something to those fighters. Those fighters are really resilient, and so now being people are starting to kind of get behind me, or just realizing that I'm as good as I say I am. It's cool.
You got the belt on you. There's no denying it at this point, man.
It's kind of hard. It's super hard to deny that I'm the best now because I got proof. You know what I mean? So that's super cool. I feel like. The people around me and I've believed it for a long time, but for the general public to kind of catch up is cool, but I also got to keep in mind or just keep my head about myself, and not believe too much of the hype. Anthony Pettis, who's fighting Friday. He told me like never believe how good people say you are and never believe how bad people say you are. So I never I never rely on, you know, the general public or the odds makers or anybody like that to or my confidence don't come from them. So
But yeah,
I just gotta keep that in mind.
we only know a version of you, right? Like I know a version of you talking right now. I know what I see in interviews and everything else, and that's only like a little sprinkle of who you are, right? So
Yeah.
you can't really buy into all that stuff, especially even with capping shows. If you listen to some of the new podcasts out there, guys that have never stepped in a cage before, have never done anything else, including myself, are relentless at points when they're picking apart fights because you have to be. You have to like
Yeah.
literally cross section the fight, and you sound like an ass when you're talking about certain fighters. So you
Yeah.
can't buy into the hate, and you just got to keep
Yeah.
doing what you're doing for sure, man.
Hell yeah, for sure, for sure.
Now, speak to how weird it is at Rufus Sports with the idea of, there's some belts going around, there's some.
Yeah,
How
hell
is that
yeah.
going to play out? And I know that you have been doing some work at Extreme Couture as well to sort of divide some of the coaching up. How is that going to play out going into the next fight?
As far as like fighting in the next fight in the tournament, or are you talking
Yeah,
about Rufus?
yeah, exactly.
So I don't know, like, kind of my training, I'm still kind of figuring out, you know. I still talk with the coaches at Rufus Sport, you know, and I really like, I mean, I was raised kind of on the system, the striking system of Rufus Sport, so I'm really comfortable, you know, at doing that type of system. I've been like kind of branching out and just like kind of adding things to that, but Rufus Sport is still like my base. My base fundamental things come from Rufus Sport, you know. So I'm always like a Rufus Sport fighter, you know. Even though I like go out and like kind of train other places, but also I originally I was gonna just do like a camp. I was just kind of doing a one-off at in Vegas. But I really like Eric Nixon and everybody that trains at Extreme Couture. You know what I mean? And all the looks that I've been able to get. You know, it's been like super. And also people were like coming at me. You know, like at Rufus Sport, like I'm the wrestler. You know what I mean? Like nobody really challenges me wrestling.
Fair
You
enough.
know, I mean they do. You know, if I have a fight against a wrestler, they'll challenge me. You know, as much as they can. But it was nice to have like some wrestlers like you know coming at me, throwing. You know, trying to take me down. Some wrestlers taking me down and like really, you know, trying to like out grapple me. You know what I mean?
You want to feel like the small fish in that realm a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it, man. I love it. I love being like kind of in that realm of just like nobody like respecting me. I gotta earn my kind of merit as a grappler from these guys. And I like that because I mean I feel like that's a fight, you know. The fighter isn't gonna like respect you when you're in there. So I like that, you know. So at this point, I got to I'm implementing some time at Extreme Couture. I don't know like how that's gonna look just yet. I haven't like figured out like the camp or anything like just yet because I also got till September to fight. But in the meantime, you know, I'm training here also at Houston Fight Metro or Metro Fight Club
I got you.
with Adrian Yanez and Cameron Smotherman and Michael Aswal and Jacob Silva. So I'm still getting
Some
like work
murderers. Good.
and also their hands are like really good. They're really good boxing, kickboxing, and cage wrestling. So yeah, I've just been, you know, kind of branching out as I see or kind of as life moves me. I'm here in Houston just because I'm from Houston and my family is closer to Houston, so it's like easier for me because we had a second baby. It's easier for me to like have help here. You know, even if I have to like go to camp, I got like families and brothers and you know cousins and stuff that can help my wife and family out. You know, so that's why I'm here. But it worked out too that I'm training with some you know top level guys here.
And congratulations on the new baby. So for you, I know you have a son, correct?
Yeah, I got two sons now. I got
Yeah.
Clarence Bubba. His birthday is actually May 5th, so it's tomorrow.
All right.
And then I got another little fat baby, little Ketchikou. Yeah, he's about to turn a year on the 18th. Yeah.
All right. And that was actually one thing that Donald Cerrone even brought up in a press conference today about being
Yeah, I've seen that.
dad. And I've talked to a lot of fighters about this too, because it sort of goes hand in hand, man. Like being a dad is one of the most primal things you can be. And really stepping in the cage is a sport version of the most primal thing we need to be doing as men. And I know that's, men, women, parents, but really, as men, primally, that is one of the things that we got to look at, right? Defending our own. And Cerrone was talking about his son recognizing him walking out of the cage and understanding what he does, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And really seeing it. So speak to that as a dad, man. What does that mean to you for your son to be able to see that, or your boys to be able to see that in the future?
That's like super cool. And I can see why he got it emotional, because it's like a milestone, I feel like, for the kid, you know, and you watch these things grow up from like being nothing to like being able to walk and being able to like every little thing, you know what I'm saying? You like get to witness them like becoming a person. And yo, for him to like recognize like, hey, this is what this is what my dad does as a job, or my dad is really good at something, you know, that's like priceless, you know what I mean? And that's
Sure.
like part of the reason why, you know, I want to be so involved in my kids' life. I want to be at the very least, I want to be able to motivate them and show them, you know, that like somebody really close to you, somebody you kind of share the same dreams with, is capable of accomplishing something great, you know what I mean? And that does like wonders for a kid, you know. Just his like ceiling, you know, it's pushed beyond, you know, the like the normal limit, I guess. And that's kind of what I want to. So it's cool. It's like super cool. It's like kind of like a
Hey, their dad's the champ, right?
yeah, exactly. You know, like you can do that. You can do whatever you want to do. You know, and it's just it just gives me like all the good feelings. You know, to know that my son the other day was like he like, because he always like want to fight and wrestle, kind of, you know what I mean? It's nothing like formal or nothing. He just likes playing around. Like that's how we play kind of with each other.
Yeah.
But the other day he was like, and I was almost like to tears myself. He was like, "Daddy, you the best fighter." And I was like, "What?" Like, hey, bro, hey, don't say that, man. Don't be saying that to me. But yeah, that's like super dope, you know, to hear those, like super heartwarming.
And ultimately, that's what it's all about, man. Or at
Hell
least
yeah.
about what it becomes as you become a dad. So
Yeah.
that's amazing to see that you're coming to your own as a, you know, personally as a parent, and developing the family. The Bellator career is coming together. I imagine some money's dad
Yep.
going be coming
Yep.
together quite
Yes,
nicely.
sir.
And like I said, you know, you're on Ariel Helwani, and then you're giving a guy like me, who's a dad, who's had to make his, you know, left turn during a pandemic, and try to get a podcast going. You didn't have to, so I appreciate your time today, sir.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
want to jump into a couple fights with you quick and get
Yeah.
some picks,
Yeah,
and then
sure.
we will let you go do what you got to do.
Appreciate
So first fight that I wanted to break down was the main event fight tonight, or sorry, not tonight, on the card in Bellator. We got Ryan Bader and Czech Congo in a rematch, which was a no contest because of an eye poke. Ryan Bader is sort of the antithesis of don't count a guy out. Don't judge someone based on age. Don't judge someone because they got knocked out once. Just because you got knocked out as a fighter doesn't mean that you know it's all over. Instinctually, he has that wrestling that he can always go to, and a guy that we've cashed on multiple times because you just count a guy out stupidly. Same time, we have Czech Congo, the vet, coming in with some solid ass kickboxing, some old vet, gritty ass France
Yeah.
kickboxing, and the guy obviously doesn't go away. Now, he's coming in at plus 290. We got Czech Congo. We got Ryan Bader at minus 385. He's no longer the dog. Much like you, I can't make money off him or you anymore. What do you?
Unfortunately, man, I hate that.
Hey, no, you parlay. You ended off a parlay on the weekend. Your last fight, and I actually even asked. I asked Josh Hill, because he was doing an interview with me that like prior to that event.
Yeah.
I said, going into this weekend, UFC cards, Bellator cards, if you had no food and you had $50, and I said you had to bet it in order to get food into your fridge, who do you bet your money on? He goes, Raufeon Stots.
My God, that's a man. I like fucking Josh a lot, man.
But at the same time, he said the only way that he doesn't bet on you in the tournament is if he's in it himself. So,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Obviously, man can't.
Yeah.
All right, so
I do the same. See,
we'll jump back into it though. We got Czech Congo, Ryan Bader. Who are you taking this one?
I'm taking Ryan Bader. I feel like, you know, he's got power everywhere, and then his threat of the wrestling. I feel like from the first fight, you know, Congo's gonna be I mean, he's gonna have to adjust to that. You know, I feel like he can't get his stuff going until he adjusts or establishes that Ryan can't dominate him in the grappling. And I feel like, I mean, then it's like Ryan's game to play. You know what I mean? So that's just how I feel.
Okay. Next fight on the card, we'll look at Alex Polizzi against Yao Romero. We got Polizzi coming in with some slick jits. This is going to be an interesting fight. Plus 133, the dog against Romero, who is minus 168, little juiced. Well, slightly juiced, but what are you thinking about this fight?
Man, that is like a banger, bro. That's like a low key banger because Alex Polizzi is like a banger, bro. That he always like in exciting fights, and I feel like I often kind of like I don't count him out, but I'm like I don't know how this gonna play out for you, bro. And he, you know what I'm saying, he surprised me. I feel like every time, you know, and I've watched him train. He's came to Rufus Sport a couple times, and I've seen him train out in Extreme, you know. So, but I hate to go against him, but Yoel Romero is Yoel, and I feel like, you know, I feel like I can't. He's coming off. I don't know if I can go against Yoel. And I could be like thinking about like early. Or his early merits, you know, and you know maybe he's not that same fighter that he was, but I believe he can be. So
it's hard to bet against someone so scary. Yeah. So I'm with you on that. Next fights that we will jump into we'll go right into the UFC card. This card is going to be absolutely crazy. Obviously, they're offering up a big, you know, Bellator had their turn a couple of weeks ago, and the UFC laid off on the gas a little bit, and this week is their turn.
Yeah.
So we got Oliveira and Justin Gaethje. Oliveira, who's been around since like way back in the days, been through the ringer, fought everybody, had to reinvent his game, has the jiu-jitsu to submit anybody, has a striking that's underrated by some of the newer MMA fans, I think, and even some people I hear that don't realize how good the striking is. But he does like to get hit a little bit early in fights. Mm-hmm. And Justin Gaethje, the wrestler, Justin Gaethje, the slick boxer, Justin Gaethje, the hammers, man, I don't know if you want to get touched by him once.
Yeah.
He might be sitting next to Juan Archuleta in the Shadow Realm, so I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I can see that's where the fight's going. That's sort of where my pick is at this point. I really didn't want to bet against I've gone back and forth. I'm with Gaethje. I think he's going to touch him at some point. What's your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, so I feel like if the fight goes a certain way, you know what I'm saying? If it turns into a brawl, Gaethje is so comfortable in like chaos and just like madness. I feel like Gaethje he finds ways to put people out, you know, when stuff gets crazy. I feel like if Charles stays within himself, I feel like, and technical, I feel like he's got a lot more ways to win. You know, because even with boxing, kickboxing, I feel like if he stays technical, I feel like he can, you know, I think he put Gaethje out, maybe even, you know what I mean? I think his kickboxing is like super underrated. But yeah, if Gaethje baits him into a fight, like a fight, then it's Gaethje all day for me.
And I mean, that is something that Oliveira has been guilty of in the past. So it's hard to break old habits, even if you've looked a little bit different and you know, stepped off that course for a couple fights.
Yeah,
you always find your way back to it.
You got your base and kind of what like got you there, or you know what you started, you know, doing. Old habits are hard to break, you know.
Definitely. So yeah, I mean, Gaethje plus 145. I think it was the podcast play, and I think he's pretty much the dog of the week, really. It's a slight dog, but I think it's hard. And for those that don't want to maybe pick a side, fight doesn't go the distance. I'm not sure what that's sitting at right now, but I'll tweet that out. Might even be a look you want to look at. So next fight in the card, we have we got some strong ass wrestling against a woman who just won't quit, who's the best. And Rose Namajunas, the champion, Carla Esparza coming in, finally getting her shot in what is a rematch and a redemption for Rose Namajunas, who is ticking off everybody who ever beat her. Slowly but surely. But I don't know, man. I have a hard time betting against wrestling. I really, really do. It's a hard thing for me, especially when it's someone as good as Esparza. She's coming in at plus 172, and if that line creeps up more and more, it may be worth a shot if you're looking at it from a value standpoint. But really, I just think that Namajunas is going to be able to scramble, do what she needs to do. Even if Esparza does win some top time, she's going to be more effective with the striking. Namajunas will be and win moments on the feet as well
Yeah.
as volume. So I'm still leaning with the minus 220 champ in Rose Namajunas. But what's your thoughts on this champ?
Yeah, I would if I had I would bet it on Rose. Not to take anything away from Carla. I feel like Carla has really grown as a martial artist, and has like a lot of good attacks. I just feel like Rose is kind of in her prime. I don't see I just feel like she's gotten stronger, she's gotten faster, and she's like her head is like, you know what I'm saying, kind of like an immovable object now, and that goes a long way. I just yeah. Also, coupled with her jujitsu and her just ability to move, I don't feel like and her length, she's kind of like kind of a lankier fighter. I feel like she's I mean, she's strong too. I'll go with Rose. I'm gonna go with Rose. It's hard for me to bet against Rose, after seeing her,
She
especially her
believes in
last two
herself so much,
performances.
man. And when you have a fighter that believes in himself so much or goes for it so much,
Yeah,
and doesn't quit in there, you never see it quitting in the cage. Like, it's really hard to bet against that, man.
yeah,
Especially when someone that is always first to the whatever it is, whether it's a grappling exchange,
yeah,
first to everything. Like, those people are what people you want to put your money into. So,
yeah.
Rose Namajunas minus 220 champ, we'll take it. And then we're gonna touch on one more fight, and we will go from there. Unless there's anybody else that I want you to potentially shine light on this weekend, but we're gonna look at Michael Chandler, former Bellator champ, Tony Ferguson, in a fight that, man, Tony Ferguson's number keeps climbing, and I know he has not looked good against wrestling, but I don't know if Michael Chandler's gonna bring wrestling to this. And if he doesn't bring wrestling to this, I don't know where this goes. And if you're going to give me plus 295 on a Tony Ferguson that could look like a savage murderer, I may jump.
Yeah.
But that being said, Michael Chandler should be the side, is the pick.
Yeah.
But will he be the bet? I don't know, man, because Tony Ferguson could make this really ugly. And we haven't seen him in a little while. We just don't know what version we're going to get. And if Chandler doesn't run wrestling, man, it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah. The only thing that's like, and I feel the same way. Like, just because like Chandler is more about his performance than he is, about the wins or whatever. But that was before he was coming off the losses coming off, or it's 2 losses now. So I feel like he's a smart martial artist. I feel like he as far as the like marketing side of marketing Michael Chandler, it's way harder to market him, even if he had like an amazing performance off of 3 losses. So I feel like he knows this is a fight where he has to win, so that might influence his style of fighting. And yeah, but I do feel like he's the stronger wrestler. A little bit, he's got maybe I don't want to say less wear and tear on him. But he's just like, he seems like the fresher of the 2 fighters. Even though he's been around about as long as Tony Ferguson, and like is in like dog wars. But yeah, if same thing. If he wants to like fight, give Tony the fight he wants or whatever, I feel like it could be like a super. He gonna get cut up. First of all, he gonna get cut up, and it's gonna be a bloody battle. And Tony is probably certifiably crazy. So, I
mean, you are right though. Chandler could pull a bait and switch on us and sell it as going to be that fight. And
he's smart in that way. Yeah, he's smart. I feel like
that would be the biggest name for the easy paycheck if he does that.
MMA, and how to play it. I feel like so. We'll see.
All right, man. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I know that, as you get the belts wrapped around your waist comes the phone calls and the bugs by multiple people.
Yeah.
So I really, once again, appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Appreciate your looks as well, too. Is there any other teammates that you have fighting this weekend coming up?
No, I don't have anybody. I got Anthony Pettis. Anthony Pettis is he's fighting PFL on Friday.
Yeah, I know, and Anthony Pettis is fighting PFL on Friday, and obviously, as much as I want to take a take on that, I know exactly where you're going to go with that, who you're going to say wins that fight. So
And yeah, Anthony Pettis is the best I've seen him look physically, you know. And I was witnessing a lot of this camp. I know we put into this camp, so I can't bet against him, you know. I also like to say I didn't say it on the Aaron Hawani show, but and now that I'm forgetting, I hope Adrian Yanez gets a fight in Texas. Yeah, there's a show in Texas or a UFC coming up in Texas. I hope Adrian Yanez gets on it. But
the most underappreciated boxer in MMA right now, man. That man is slick with his boxing.
Sure,
And judges don't get it.
My face can attest to it.
Well, that's good that you're jumping around, man. You're getting looks here and there, and you're getting, you know, a different understanding and different perspectives on all martial arts, man. So once again, I really appreciate your time, champ. Thank you very much for your looks on the fights, and hopefully we can have you on again here at the Donttap Podcast.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Thank you very much for your time.
Later, brother.
Cheers.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
They're staring at me. See it?